force 15 turnovers for 31 points off of turnovers. And Oklahoma has done a really good job of protecting the basketball this season. Entering the game last night, they were only averaging 10 turnovers per game. And they had committed single digit turnovers in 13 games this season, which was the most it has done in a season in 40 years. So I know folks, you mentioned that, Tennessee kind of put the foot on the throat and didn't let off. Well, some folks looked at Oklahoma's record and saw Tennessee have their lead cut to whatever it was at some point midway through the second half and lost their mind.
It's like 8.
Naturally.
Was it like 8? Maybe 6?
Something like that.
Somewhere around there.
Let's see. In the second half, my box score is not loading, so we won't see right now. But, yeah, it was something like that. But just folks expect Tennessee basketball to play perfect for 40 minutes every single game, and it's just unrealistic. Some of y'all just refuse to be happy with the basketball program, and I don't get it, but that's a separate conversation for a separate day that I don't have any interest in getting into today. But kind of going off of that point, also, you do look at the record, Oklahoma, that they haven't had a ton of success in terms of the win-loss column, but offensively, they have been phenomenal all year long, and especially here of late. They've been one of the most efficient teams in the country the last handful of weeks, and on the season they have at least going into the game, they had a top 25 efficient offense, had scored more than 90 points in each of its last 2 games. I counted it up before the game. I believe they had reached 75 points in all but 3 SEC games, if I'm not mistaken. And Tennessee was able to hold them to the second fewest points of conference play. So a really strong defensive performance, and you mix in not turning the basketball over and what Nate Ament did, what Jacoby Gillespie did. It's hard to argue with Rick Barnes. He told the team post-game that it was their best game of the season.
Yeah, man, it was a complete game. I mean, it really was. And I don't remember the last perfect game. Football, basketball. I mean, I guess was it Kentucky last year in the tournament? Was that the last perfect game for the basketball program? Football, it ain't been perfect. It wasn't perfect last year. It wasn't perfect in 24. Was it perfect in 23? There was no games that we could say that was perfect in 23 or 24. In 22, I guess you can look at like LSU on the road. Probably was like the closest perfect game where you had special teams plays. Offensively, you were tearing it up. Or maybe you can look at the performance against Missouri at home in 22, where you put up 60-something points. Or you can look at 2021 against Missouri when you put up 60-something points on the road. So, I mean, it's just really not realistic to have a perfect performance. You strive for perfection, but you're never going to play perfect. And the other team's going to make shots. And the other team is going to make difficult shots. You know why they're going to make difficult shots? Because they're good players, too. They're good players, too. So, I was thrilled with the performance yesterday. I'm happy for the guys. They did this even with J.P. Estrella not being out there. I need some more from Jalen Carey, though. I need some more, man. Like, I need some made layups down there in that post, my man. Like, I got to have it. You're going to play Vanderbilt this weekend. You can't be out there missing them layups like that. I looked over at Rick Barnes. I looked over, but I was at home watching the game, but I saw Rick Barnes like, yo, just get him out. my favorite is when coaches are like, yo, just come on, get him, just get him out. Just he points to somebody on the bench, come on, get him out. And Rick Barnes got to the point where he was over it. And I want more for Jalen Carey, man. I really do. And you can't just turn it on against Vanderbilt just because you're your old team. I was hoping we was going to see more from him from a production standpoint because of JP Estrella was out, and he had plenty of opportunities, but just can't make shots around the rim, and it's just weird to me.
Yeah, it is. There was a moment last night, to your point about coaches waving to get somebody else in there. And it's funny to watch Rick when he gets upset, try and get somebody off the bench and in the game for somebody who just turned the basketball over or got blown by defensively, something like that. There was a point last night. I believe it was Ethan Berg was the victim. He did something that Rick did not like. Bishop was already at the scorer's table.
Turnover. It was turnover. It was a turnover.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It was a turnover.
And Bishop was already at the scorer's table, and Rick turned around to the bench to try and put Bishop in the game when Bishop was already at the scorer's table. Yep. It was a pretty funny realization by Rick. Yeah, first, he gets upset.
Yeah. He turned the ball over the direction where the media sits.
Yep.
On the right side of the court.
Rick was like, Bishop, you got to get in there. And Bishop was already coming in the game.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a funny sequence of emotions from Rick. But, yeah, Jalen Carey leaves a lot to be desired. I'd rather see Dwayne Brown.
I want to bash on him. I don't want to bash on him. I want to see more for him, man, because, golly, he has a chance to be so much better. I mean, one for 6 from the free throw line, like, the stroke ain't that bad to be shooting 1 for 6 from the free throw line, and 3 for 9 from the field. 24.
The problem is, last night was not a one-off. It's been pretty consistent, and I mean, I don't want to bag on him either, but I feel like Dwayne Brown has more of a positive impact than Jalen Carey does. D. Brown may not be able to fill up the stat sheet right now like a Jalen Carey does when Jalen does have it going, but I think Dwayne Brown has better touch around the rim. I think he's a better passer. I think he sees the floor better, and he plays harder. Yeah. That's my thing with Jalen Carey is I don't want to bag on Jalen, but I don't think he's in good enough shape, and I don't think he plays hard enough, quite frankly. And some of that may be because he's not in good enough shape, but I think that there are times where his vibe the vibe that Jalen puts off is that he's kind of too cool. He's too cool for everybody. He's just going through the motions. Like I need more of that, and I don't want to see it this Saturday against Vanderbilt. Like that's easy to get turned up for, and I'm sure he's going to get a technical at some point. I think it'll be an upset if he doesn't get a technical this weekend, because he certainly does not shy away from trying to be an enforcer. We've seen that a couple of times this year. But yeah, I'd rather see Dwayne Brown at this point. I really would. I just think he affects the overall game more consistently and has more of a positive impact than Jalen Carey does.
865-255-03. You still waiting on news around Joey Aguilar. He's going to participate in the combine for 48 hours or so that way he doesn't jeopardize his eligibility or potential eligibility here at Tennessee. Everyone can have their own opinions on whether or not he should play or needs to play or should be able to be eligible. I think the conversation has gotten to the point where it's become just silly, or folks are like, "What if you can do this? Why not do this?" And it's just gotten silly. It's just gotten silly. So, for Tennessee's sake, you hope that he can play.
For Joey's sake, I hope he can play too. I want Joey to.
I want him to play.
Win. I like Joey.
I want him to win too.
I enjoyed covering him this year. So just on a personal level, we've stated our opinions on the whole JUCO eligibility thing a million times now. But I can separate that opinion from thinking what is best for Tennessee, which is Joey becoming eligible. And I enjoyed covering Joey this year. So just on a personal level, individual level, like I hope for his sake that he gets it as well.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to throw at the combine? I imagine not.
No.
So he's just going for the interviews, and I wonder, will he be able to do some of the
That's it.
workouts. I mean, obviously he's not bench pressing or anything like
Nothing.
that, but
Nothing. He can't
so
do.
he's just going to talk to
He
teams.
don't need to do nothing. He don't need to do anything. Anything. Physically, like you don't want to put that out there. I mean, you just had surgery to have a tumor removed from your throwing arm. Um, if he is not able to come back to school, then you heal up and try to do as much as you can at pro day. But I mean, he's gonna be in a tough spot. Period. If he doesn't get a year of eligibility to be able to come back in college, because you're not gonna throw at the combine, and pro day is next month, and so it just puts you in a tough spot. So it'd be best if he gets it this year back. But yeah, you can't do anything physically in Indy unless you 100%. It ain't worth it, man. There's too many people watching. You don't want to put that out there. You don't want those numbers to be recorded. You just wait to pro day. That's what I would do, and that's what a lot of people do.
Well, I didn't know if he would run. Like
you need your arm to run.
You do,
Yeah.
but I don't think he's in a brace or anything right now.
Yeah, but you gotta be training.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, you
I
gotta be training to run. So now you're going up there, you're meeting with folks and doing all those things that still is important. Everything is important, but you don't need to be doing anything physical. 865-255-03. So if you got any comments, takes about Joey Aguilar that you want to get off, hey, you can get them off. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You can let them fly. We encourage it. The text box is open for you, Beta Chevrolet, betachevrolet.com. Text box is open, so we want to do a good job of hitting the text box this morning. And so let's take a look, see what we got here, Ben McKee. See, we got some good stuff. Where's Neil Mafia this morning? Oh, yeah. Yeah, A-Cuff is a problem. Arkansas, he busted Alabama up for 40-plus points. They still lost, but, man.
That's who I want the Grizzlies to draft. The Grizzlies are going to have a top 10 pick, maybe a top 5 pick. They're going to have 2 picks in the lottery. I'm hoping one of them is Darius Acuff Jr. He's a bad man.
Y'all already got a point guard.
Let's ship him out. See ya.
Yeah, it's time. So the Swain Event app is Apple only. When we got that thing redone and actually built from the scratch, it was during COVID. It's like the worst time ever for the app to do what it did. But we built the new app from COVID. The company that did the app no longer in business, and so that's why it hasn't been an Android update, because they're no longer in business. And so we're rolling with the Apple app as long as we can, and there's no update on whether or not there's going to be an Android version of the app anytime soon right now. So, yeah, that's the situation. Full transparency, and at some point, hopefully, that can be a thing where Android and Apple could be option for us. But right now, it's just Apple. Big Orange 123 says when a mint hit that 3-piece from 27, extra crispy. We're talking 27 feet. Yeah, that thing was. My middle child and I was watching the game. My youngest two was watching the game. We were all sitting there, and my kid was like, "I like the way that sounds." When the ball hit that net, man, because like it has a special sound, and
Best sound ever.
And there's a microphone up there by the rim too, so like it was a beautiful sound. She's like, "I like that sound." It was hilarious, man. Chip Payne said this is the wrong team for Jalen Carey to be on. He can't score over players taller than him. I've never seen so many block shots for one person. This ain't the wrong team, man. This is the right team for him to be on. Like this, you got a coach that is going to push you to be the best version of yourself. Remember why you picked Tennessee. You picked Tennessee without ever coming on a visit, my man. Because you knew what Rick Barnes is going to pull out of you. But Ben said it, and I've seen it. I've seen it as a player. I've seen it as a former player. And it's not just guys, it's girls too. There has to be a full buy-in where you have to submit, where you got to let your guard down. And you got to just go all out and do everything that you're told to do. That's what you have to do. You can't hold anything back. And Jalen Carey looks like he's holding something back. He looks like he's too cool.
This is an off-season adjustment that he has to make. This is not an in-season adjustment. He needs to decide how good he wants to be at basketball. He needs to decide how important basketball is to him, and he needs to get to work. He needs to get in better shape, and he needs to play harder more consistently. And I want this to come off as more tough love than me hating or anything, because when Jalen Carey has it going, I mean, he's as fun to watch as anybody on this team, quite frankly. I think there's a piece of us basketball fans that love the old school power forward that's, you know, just big and strong and muscles his way and bullies his way to a double-double. Like when he had it going at Syracuse, I know that wasn't a fun game for Tennessee overall, and there's been other games as well. But when Jalen Carey has had it going this season, he's so much fun to watch because it's bully basketball, and who doesn't love that? I know I certainly appreciate it because I watched it with Zach Randolph for so many years and Marc Gasol for so many years. So it kind of pulls on my heartstrings for sure. So it's in there, but he's got to decide and make the decision and make the commitment to bring it out consistently. This, in my opinion, is going to have to be a mindset change over the offseason and not something that is going to change automatically in season, unfortunately, for Tennessee.
Yeah, man. I want it so bad for Jalen Carey, but, again, we can't want it more for him than he wants it for himself, is what Neil Kyle said, too. Rick Barnes can't want it more than Jalen Carey wants it for himself. Camden, Tennessee Vol says, this has been a free show forever. Maybe a listener who's a programmer can hook you up with some free service in return to get Android going. Hey, maybe. Man, we've kept this show free since the start. So, I mean, hopefully we can get a little bit of assistance there. But, yeah, I would. City Vol says, I'm currently listening on the Android app. Yeah, I'm not an Android person. There was a time when I had two phones. One was an Android, one was Apple, to be able to, maneuver the app using both operating systems. I don't have an Android, so maybe stay away from those updates.
You had two phones like Kevin Gates?
I got two phones now, but they both Apple.
One for the plug and one for the.
I don't understand why. Well, I'll tell you what happened. When you get older, man, you just tell the truth, man. I feel like I've got to that point. I'm only 41, man. 45 is gonna be scary. 50, whoo, watch out. But like, I just be honest. I got a Swain Event business account, T-Mobile. They hit me up. It was like, hey, we want to take care of our business customers, and I've been with T-Mobile ever since I was in high school. And it wasn't even called T-Mobile. It was called something different. I remember I used to have the sidekick. It was me, Kevin Burnett, the only two that had it on the squad in 04. And then I saw Candace Parker with it. And then they came out with a new sidekick. But T-Mobile wasn't even in Knoxville at the time. So I had to drive Chattanooga to get the new sidekick. And then when I came back, your boy was a trendsetter, Ben. Everybody started getting sidekicks. But I had a T-Mobile account forever, so they noticed that your boy was a 20-year vet in the game, and they said, "Hey, we want to give you a free line." I thought it was spam. Yeah, right. So now they gave me a free phone, free line, and gave me another line. I was like, appreciate it, because I got two younger kids that will be needing a phone here soon. So that's the story. That's why I got two phones for now. Chip Payne says that's what I'm saying. He can't do the things that Rick asked him to do. Yeah, I know, man. But Admiral Schofield fought it. Remember,
He
he
yes.
fought it. He fought it for a little bit, and then
Jalen's fighting it right now.
he's fighting it. You can't fight it with Rick. You got to just let go. And once
It's in there.
it's in there. When you let go, man, you will be the player that you can be. But you can't fight it with Rick Barnes, man. You got to just let it go.
Let it go.
That's right.
Let it go. They're going to have an interesting decision to make this offseason with their front court construction, Swain. And this is a far deeper conversation for a different day once portal season does roll around for basketball. But Felix Akpar, you are losing your true rim protection in Felix Akpar.
I love Felix.
I love Felix's defense and when he's catching lobs. Let's not post him up and allow him to cook because he cannot cook.
Nah.
Let's let him cook on the lobs.
He warms things up. He warms things up in a microwave like hot pockets and stuff.
Yes, but I love Felix. I love everything Felix is about. He's tough, gritty, plays through injury.
Me too.
Not that others are not, but like Felix, I love his attitude. I love the way he approaches the game, and I love his work ethic. But Tennessee's going to be losing him, so they're going to be losing its true rim protection. So Tennessee is going to have to decide: J.P. Estrella, Cade Phillips, Dwayne Brown, Jalen Carey. Those four guys. Is that a front court that you can roll with next year? Because if so, then Cade Phillips is your rim protector. And is Cade Phillips capable of being your sole rim protector when he's 6'9" and doesn't have much girth to him, and he's coming off of a significant shoulder surgery? I think that might be a little bit risky. So, and then also you have to ask, is Jalen Carey going to take the next step? Is he going to commit himself to the game this offseason and get himself in better shape and establish a level of consistency that I can rely upon next season? I love Dwayne Brown. Obviously, I love JP as an offensive player, but JP still has a long ways to go defensively. Jalen has a long ways to go defensively, although he is getting better. And if he gets in better shape, that will help as well. And if he commits to things, then that will help as well. But I'm curious to see what they do in the front court this offseason, because they have a lot of bodies. They're going to be losing key rim protection. They don't really have a ton of defense outside of Cade coming back. So, A, are you going to be able to even add somebody of quality when you already have four bigs on your roster if they don't leave? And then B, what type of post player do you go get? Are Jalen and JP capable of playing off of one another? Is Dwayne capable of playing off of JP? Where does Cade fit in? It's I think it's a fascinating conversation when you look at the roster construction for next year.
I just need Rick to put it all together on one team. Get the rim protector. Get someone who can step out and make shots from the 4 position. Get you a guy that can create his own shot. Like, give me a combination of like the last 3 years. Like, give me Jacoby Gillespie who can shoot it from the point guard position. Give me Zakai who can defend. Give me Doc Connect, the closer, Nate Amit type of closer. Give me the rim protection, and give me some dudes who can shoot the basketball. And we got something special, man. We got something special.
Question.
What's the question?
And this is a Tegan Coons fastball up and in.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, but it may be a little music.
I'm ready. I'm on my Christian Moore. I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Are you willing to?
I'm hitting for the cycle. Let's go.
What you just said, that sounds great. Sounds great out loud.
Oh, nervous. I'm nervous.
You on the spend?
I spun more this year than I did last year.
You did, and you still don't have what you just described.
It
So,
ain't a money thing. It ain't a money thing.
what do you mean by that?
Well, it might be a money thing. You're right. It might be a money thing.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
They spent. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not criticizing the commitment. My point is to get to what you're saying, you're going to have to spend even more. And are you willing to do that? Because I believe they spent around $8 million this year, which is one of the higher spendings in the country.
Dude, that's less than LSU. I was on with Matt Moscona yesterday, and he shared with me that LSU basketball spent $9 million this year.
Yeesh.
Ugh.
I think they spent it on the wrong people, and they've been hit by the injury bug pretty bad. Their best player, I'm blanking on his name, the forward, had a season-ending injury early in the season. Jalen Reed, I believe it is. But like, in order to get what you're talking about, we're talking about having to go from 7 to 8 million to like 10 million. Are you willing to do that for the basketball program?
I mean, you have to. Yo, Rick.
You don't have to. I mean, we know what's king around here. You don't have to. Do I think you should? Yes. Do you have to? No. Because like 8 million, you can still build a pretty dang good roster, but it's gonna, like this year's team, leave you wanting another shooter, scorer, off the ball guard.
I don't necessarily think you have to spend more. You just have to be better in spending what you do get, which should be a lot, because you have done a better job than any other sport when it comes to getting your return investment.
Yeah, that's true. And you do have money. I mean, you're going to have $3 million coming off the books with Nate. You're going to have money coming off the books with Jacoby. But there's going to need to be some pretty significant roster construction this offseason. Not in terms of numbers. Like they have numbers, but like you're going to have to go out and get another Jacoby Gillespie at point guard, because you have Troy Henderson coming back. I like Troy Henderson, but I don't think he's going to be ready to take over the reins as a sophomore. You have Marquise Clark coming in from Chicago, who is an under-recruited point guard from Chicago. So you have 2 point guards on paper, but neither one of them are ready to lead Tennessee to anything of significance, I don't think. So you're going to have to go get a point guard. Then you're going to have to go get another scorer, because you're losing Nate Ament. And you already need another scorer with Nate. You've got Bishop coming back. You've got Amari Evans coming back. Like you're pretty locked in defensively. Maybe Clarence Masamba can take a big step this offseason, but that's not anything you can bank on. Same with Ethan Berg, and that's even if Ethan Berg is back next season. You add 2 freshmen in Manny Green and Ralph Scott, who they like, but they're not going to – I mean, at most they're Amari Evans again this year. So, like, you have to go get a point guard. You have to go get, like, 2 scorers to complement Bishop and Amari Evans, and then – in comes the conversation about the front court and the post players that I just got done talking about. So, like, in order to build what you're saying, I mean, you're going to have to go out and get 3 to 4 bona fide players, real deal players that can hopefully on paper get you over the hump. So, I don't know. I'd be curious to see what their finances look like, because you do have money coming off the books with Nate and Jacoby. But then what would it take to go out and get those 3 to 4 pieces that I'm alluding to? I mean, that's not going to be cheap. I think there's a pretty good foundation already in place, which is good. That I really like this freshman class with Troy Henderson, Dwayne Brown, Amari Evans. I'm forgetting somebody. They like Clarence. They say Clarence Masamba, the French guard. And then you have other pieces as well. JP should be a vocal point of your offense next year if he can stay healthy, but that's a question mark. So you do have a nice foundation in place, but you're going to have to spend a pretty penny to go out and build a Final Four, Elite Eight type of roster.
That's what we got to do then, because You spent money with football. You went all in with football, and which is what we had to do, needed to do, should have done. Um, Year two of Kim Caldwell, you have given her what she's needed to go out and sign top recruiting classes, young teams. Um, but man, you know what? I'm just not gonna talk about the Lady Vols.
Thank you.
C-Mac says, let it be known, Will Wade has been forgiven for his previous transgressions, and Carolina can go to HE double hockey sticks. Don't be mad at them. Don't be mad at Carolina. No, there's no reason to be mad at them. NC State put the pause on Carolina. Gonna get Hubert Davis probably fired. But
And
that was
we're way back to LSU.
yeah. Wade's going back to LSU.
Sorry, Steve Mac.
Yeah, he's going back to LSU. Or Mick Cronin. He trying to go somewhere. Because he definitely don't want to coach UCLA. You can tell my man understands that he has a buyout. He is acting like he has a buyout. He is trying to get fired. His buyout right now is over $22 million. And he's like, fire me. Fire me. And the thing that's crazy about Mick Cronin, for those that may not have seen what he said over the weekend, they were down 20-plus points. Michigan State was going in for a dunk and a fast break. One of his players hustled, didn't quit, hustled, tried to get back into the play, made a play on the ball. It was a hard foul, but he made a play on the ball, and it really wasn't that hard. It was the guy was in the air, and it looked worse than what it really was. Mick Cronin pulls the player out, sends the player to the locker room in the middle of the game, embarrassing the young man. In the post-game press conference, he's a butthead to the reporter. This is what Mick Cronin has been on for weeks now. He hates his basketball team, and I'm starting to think he hates his job at UCLA, and he's trying to get fired. And I would be careful if Mick Cronin, because you see what Kansas State's trying to do, and Jerome Tang did not and has not acted like you have acted, and they're trying to fire him for cause. And if I'm UCLA, I don't say anything. I let him keep going, and I find that opening to fire his butt for cause because he's acting like he's trying to get fired. It's one thing to be fired because you can't get it done. It's another thing when you are actively trying to get fired and it looks obvious. Mick Cronin looks like he's trying to get fired. $22.5 million buyout. This dude hates his team. Remember, he was the guy that was hired after Rick Barnes said no to UCLA. How about that? Let's go to the phones. 865-255-03. Sorry, Ben. Good morning.
Y'all not going to steal my joy this morning.
Come on, C-Mac. What's up?
Y'all are not going to steal my joy this morning. The hell you mean
poor
going
thing.
to LSU?
Why would we do that?
Hell you mean going to LSU?
What you mean?
Exactly what we said.
It's a perfect
with our
setup.
chest.
It's a perfect setup. You don't see it?
What do you mean?
You don't see it, huh?
That you're not.
Will Wade had the most success at LSU. They loved him when he was down there. You can pay
But they got
players
rid of
now.
him.
He's not happy at NC State.
He's not happy. He just beat the dog crap out of Carolina.
Well, I don't know. Do we know that he's not happy at NC State? I'll side with C-Mac there.
I saw a report that he was expecting a lot more in terms of NIL than what he got.
Oh, shit.
But is he going to get that at
Maybe he's
LSU?
happy now. Maybe he's happy now. I don't know. Maybe he's happy now.
I mean, forgive me, but, beating Carolina means something to some people, right? Myself included. Hadn't seen a first-year NC State coach in my entire life beat Carolina in his first year, key term. Now, mind you, it is a little different because they're only playing once this year, but still, I don't see the long-term thing, but I guess maybe you're right. Definitely if Ben is correct or Swain, what you just said, LSU spent $9 million this year?
Yeah, and they ain't getting to the tournament, so they probably get rid of McMahon. You know what? Hey, Will Wade is happy in NC State. I shouldn't have said that. I did see something. It was weeks ago when I saw it, but I'll take that back. He is.
Are we sure Matt Moscano was talking about basketball, not baseball?
No, he's talking about
In
basketball.
terms of spending,
No, he's talking about basketball.
That's surprising to me.
that's crazy. For what? I'm sorry, but does that include women?
No, man, he's talking about the men's. That's why the AD there, LSU, made the comments about this team needing to get to the tournament. It makes sense because I thought those comments were pretty strong. It's like, dude, you just put your coach on the hot seat. Well, $9 million.
Should be on the hot
He
seat
should
with
be
that
on the
record.
hot seat. Yeah, for $9 million roster.
Yeah.
So I get it now.
That's fair. Real quick, could you help me understand the dynamic between what Mick is doing and what Jerome did? And I'll add the one thing. Now that we are paying these players and they're pseudo employees, you can't just talk about your employees how you want to talk about your employees like that.
Man, these coaches
regardless.
don't care. These coaches do not care.
I understand they don't care, but if you look at it from the ADs are not, historically ADs hadn't come out and talked about coaches like this, even when criticizing. Right? There's a way to be constructive with your criticism, but are we going to see more coaches lose their jobs like Jerome has if they decide to be more harsh with their criticism?
I think more coaches are willing to criticize players and their team publicly because they are professionals. They are being paid. I think ADs, they don't criticize their coaches because you still got to recruit, and you don't want to undermine your head coach, and other schools being able to negative recruit your school because the coach may be on shaky ground. So that's why you don't see ADs do this, but you do see coaches come out and criticize their players, and it's the way to do it. Like what Mick Cronin did was across the line, because now you're scaring away other potential recruits for next season. But some of these other coaches that have come out and said things like that doesn't bother the players too much. As long as you pay them, as long as you coach them up, as long as you help them get better, they can handle being coached hard. But what Mick Cronin did was, I thought, cross the line because he embarrassed the young man. He sent the dude to the locker room during the game. That's crossing the line. That's crossing the line.
Out the door, man. I really missed for what? Tony Clark. What in the hell? Kevin Durant. For what, bro? For what? He come to Memphis. You see that? You see that, though? He want to come to Memphis.
I don't want Kevin Durant. By the time we're ready to win, he'll be washed up.
Stop saying.
Oh yeah, C-Mac, you're right. All right, C-Mac.
All right, y'all be easy. Good show.
Yeah. I bet you Jennifer Morris can help Mick Cronin sell his home in Los Angeles or the surrounding Los Angeles area, just like she can help those of you in East Tennessee sell or buy a home. She's happy to help with any of your real estate needs that you may have. She just sold a home in Fountain City for $15,000 over asking price. The market is already heating up. So for all of your real estate needs, please reach out to Jennifer Morris of Keller Williams Realty.
Let's go back to the phones, 865-255-03. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. It's Mississippi Vol.
What's up, Sip Vol?
I'm like C-Mac. What do you mean we're not going to talk about the Lady Ball? But you
can. I did yesterday on radio. You can.
See, it's hard to catch me on Josh and Swain. I be kind of busy during that time of the day.
We can talk Lady Balls. It's all good. I just think we all know what we all probably have the same opinion.
Yeah, it's two things though. One for both of y'all, and one specifically for Ben. Good morning, Ben. Anyway,
Good
hope
morning,
you're
my
doing
man.
good. All right, Kim Caldwell. Do we think that she's too big for this job? I tweeted that the other day, and lots of people agree. Like that was embarrassing. Even though the coach of Ole Miss, I can't pronounce her name, said it didn't bother her, but you're on these players telling them, hustle, 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 do all this, all the coach talk, but that was win or loss, you still stay humble, right? Win or loss. So I think our AD, I'm not gonna say his name, really tried to go for style because he likes to score points. But this is Tennessee. This is Lady Vols. You know, last year I was liking her, but this year she just continues to show that maybe this is just too big for her. And my next question is for Ben. Like, Ben, how did we end up with Blaine Brown? I know he was at Rice before, if I'm correct. Maybe wrong, but how did we get
Right.
lucky enough to get a talent like that and that a lot of people, probably other people wanted, but what was it about Tennessee that we did to make sure we get that type of player, but nobody expected him to be this type of player? Other than that, I'm going to hang up and listen.
Hey, thank you.
Well, on the Lady Vols front, I do agree that this year the job has appeared to be too big for Kim Caldwell. I believe what we are seeing right now is some of the concerns when Danny White made the hire was that her inexperience at this level would hamper her. How many growing pains would she have to go through? And didn't really see a bunch of that during her first season, which is what made everybody so excited about her potential. But there have certainly been many, many growing pains and lessons learned, hopefully, from this season. And not just the head coaching experience of it, but she wasn't even a big-time assistant at this level either. And I think that you were seeing that inexperience hamper her this season. It just seems like an avalanche this season, quite frankly. But on the baseball front, Blaine Brown, he was a bit under-recruited, which is pretty shocking given his impact already with Tennessee. But they were aware of him coming out of high school, ends up going to Rice. He's a Houston kid. I mentioned on Tuesday's show, he's the son of former Titans running back Chris Brown, who also played for the Texans and settled in Houston. I believe he played for the Texans longer than he did the Titans. But Blaine Brown is a Houston kid because of that, went under-recruited, although he did have some draft interest coming out of high school. And Tennessee just knew that he was a heck of a talent and jumped on him right away. And what do we talk about, Swain, all the time that is attractive to transfers?
Getting paid, playing time, being developed to the next level.
Yes. The development part, I think, was the big thing there. I'm sure he was also taken care of financially. Not that the baseball players are being paid what basketball and football are, but that they are well taken care of. And I'm sure that absolutely happened. But the big thing was just the development piece of it. He knew that he was going to get developed at Tennessee and to play for Tony Vitello. If I remember correctly, when I talked to him after he visited Tennessee, it was like, when Tony Vitello calls, I want you to come visit. Why would you not come visit? So Tony Vitello, the aura of Tennessee baseball, and he knew that he was going to be developed and have a great chance to get to the major leagues and have a great chance to be both a pitcher and a hitter at Tennessee. So a combination of reasons, and including him kind of being under-recruited.
All right, let's get to the phones, 865-255-03. We got a couple lined up, so let's keep these calls nice and tight. And let's get to we can say the pleasantries. Everybody's good. We hope you good. We good. So we don't have to cover that. Let's just get straight to the point. Let's get to the comment. Let's get to the question. All right, let's go. Good morning. Going once, going twice. Hello. All right, let's keep it going. Good morning. Okay. All right. We run through these calls. That's for sure. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
There we go.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Vanderbilt. What's up? It's DZ in Milwaukee,
What's up,
fellas.
Daisy?
Man, just chilling, just chilling. Ben, why are you causing stirs with Tony Vitello out in the Bay?
That wasn't me for once.
Yeah, I figured. I know better, Ben. I just just thought it was funny reading the headlines over the weekend about his little pop out at the media or whatnot, and really didn't know where it was coming from, and honestly still kind of confused as to is he trying to stir things up back here, or is he just still
No,
kind of?
here's my very
confusion.
very simple and quick thought on it is that in his mind, so there was a report October 18th, the day of the Tennessee-Alabama football game, that Saturday, a report from The Athletic came out. It was Ken Rosenthal, it was the Giants beat writer Andrew Baggerty, I believe, and then a female reporter whose name I do not want to butcher, Britt, and her last name starts with a G. They reported that the Giants were closing in on hiring Tony, and in my opinion, Tony believes and has maintained that that information was inaccurate. He has maintained that he, on that Saturday, had not made a decision, despite it being reported that the Giants were about to hire him. And so, because he believes that that was an inaccurate report, and he is frustrated with how that played out that Saturday and the days to follow, he has held a grudge, in my opinion, with Ken Rosenthal and that report since that time. And on Monday, when he had that media scrum and those comments went viral, if I'm not mistaken, Ken Rosenthal was a part of that media scrum for the first time that Tony was manager of the Giants. So I know the timing was weird, but I believe that was planned, that whenever Ken Rosenthal was going to be involved in one of the Giants' media availabilities, it was going to get brought up.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I don't think he regrets his decision. Does he miss Tennessee? I'm sure he does. I'm sure he had some FOMO this weekend too, with it being opening weekend. But it's not him regretting his decision or wishing he could go back and do it or try to stir things up with Tennessee. It's him feeling that Ken Rosenthal reported something inaccurate on that Saturday. And we know Tony holds a grudge and does not forget as well as anybody. And so the moment Ken Rosenthal showed up, that was going to come out. It just happened to be on February 16th, I believe was Monday. It happened to be on February 16th. Had Ken Rosenthal showed up to Giants camp on February 8th or February 26th, then it would have happened those days.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense now, because I didn't think Tony would be trying to throw dirt on anyone back at UT. And the only thing that was confusing was him asking, who at Tennessee said something. But it makes sense now that if Ken Rosenthal was in the room, it was kind of one of those, like, I know it wasn't somebody at Tennessee, it was you, and he was making it clear without, saying his name or calling him out. So I'm glad you added that extra little bit of clarity. Yeah. Other than that, I really didn't want anything else. Softball's rolling, baseball's rolling. I'm not going to talk about the Lady Vols. And Joey, go get a job, buddy. We love what you did for us, but go get a job, fam. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later.
Hey, thank you. Ben, if you and I have a conversation and we say some things that no one else knows, and someone makes a report about the things that we've talked about, it either came from me,
Or it came from you,
or it came from
or
you.
me.
Like, it's that simple.
Came from one of us.
So Tony talked to the Giants, which is how it all started, right? and it didn't start from thin air. There had to be a initial conversation. Rosenthal had to have gotten his information from somebody from the Giants.
Yep.
To feel confident enough, again, his word, his job, his credibility is on the line. He got information that he was comfortable enough posting and putting out on the biggest college football weekend, potentially, of the year. Third Saturday in
Along
October.
with two other reporters.
Along with two other reporters. So people in the Giants felt good enough to say, we about to hire Tony Vitello. So Tony must have said something in that meeting to give the Giants confidence enough to tell Rosenthal and others that they were going to hire the Giants. Let's use our brains here, okay?
Yep.
I love me some Tony. I love me some Tony Vitello. He's one of the best things that ever happened to this university. I'm not going to let my love for Tony get in the way of what's happening clear in our face here. My man Tony was successful here. He won a championship. He was a superstar here. And when you are a superstar, man, there are times when you feel like you can say and do things that you want to do. And you can get away with those things. But that's here in Tennessee. There was things that went on in Tennessee with his program that no one talked about publicly. And you get comfortable with that. That ain't the major leagues. That same approach at the major leagues, you can't expect folks not to do their job. It's different at the major league level. So he wound up taking a job, but it's hard for him to say, well, that report wasn't accurate when you posted it. They said they were closing in on hiring you, which means that they were working to get you hired. They didn't say you was hired. It said closing in to hire you. And so, like, I hate this for Tony because he started off on the wrong foot with some of the fans and the media there.
They're starting to get fed up. They kind
are.
of gave him a grace period, and now they're like, okay, the first pitch is right around the corner. We've got to deal with Aaron Judge in a month. Why are we still talking about SEC baseball and Tennessee baseball?
Correct. So that's my take on it. All right, I'm going back to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hi, this is going to be out in left field a little bit, but I went back and watched the court deal with Joey, and I got a quick question on it. So everybody thinks it's about him getting another year, and that is it. But at the end of the session, the judge said, "Well, even if I don't grant you another year, I think you are owed something."
Yeah.
You know, and my question is this: do you think that maybe he comes back and rules that he don't get another year, but he makes the NCAA pay him some kind of like damage cause because they said that they couldn't really fill the market, but they do know that if he comes back to UT, he's going to make $2 to $2.5 million. So do you think that they could make the NCAA pay him some money out the door, like a settlement type thing, instead of giving him the extra year? That's kind of what I wanted to ask this morning, man. I'll listen to y'all.
Hey, thank you. I don't see that happening. I haven't heard that being a possible outcome. Yeah, the judge was like, "Yo, I think you are deserving of damage. I just don't know how much that is." And Joey's lawyer couldn't really tell the judge, "All right, what's the market for Joey?" Referred to Tennessee's offer or what Tennessee would probably make him. But because the NIL space is what it is, it was hard to determine, like, all right, like, what's the market for Joey Aguilar? Some believe that because there's no clear-cut number of what Joey should be owed if he does not get this waiver, then the judge may just let him play. Others believe because of that same reason, and on top of that, opens up Pandora's box that he may not be allowed to play. So this thing, man, could go either way. I want Joey to get the year, even though I don't think he should. I want him still to get it. We should know in short order. What does short order mean? Does that mean, it obviously doesn't mean a day or two, because we've passed that. It's Thursday. Tomorrow would be a full week. Monday was a holiday, so we're not in session. This is going to be a difficult decision for the judge. But DZ feels like Joey should go get a job and move on. Others may feel like he deserves another year because he got a year last year. So if 1 year JUCO don't count, then why not make this year JUCO count? So everybody has their own opinions, and that's perfectly fine. And everyone is entitled to their own opinions. I just for Joey's sake, because the time is jacked up for Joey, because he had surgery and he can't even compete physically at the combine to even go to the league if he doesn't get the extra year. The timing stinks. So I want him to be able to come back so that way he can heal up, he can have another year, he can earn money, and then next year, hopefully, if he's healthy going into the evaluation process, he can go perform healthy and be able to throw. But I feel for Joey. I really want him to be able to play. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. We'll take a brief timeout. Come back, hit the text box. Also hit up the phone lines, the Beatty Chevrolet text box and the Garza Law hotline when we return. Swain Event, fueled by Daddy and Barbecue.
Fueled by Dad and Barbecue.
Guys, you can feel your energy slipping away, losing what makes you, you. It could be low testosterone. Take action now. Low T Center can help reclaim your energy with a quick and simple free T-test. Visit Low T Center and receive pharmaceutical-grade testosterone never compounded like other clinics. Experienced providers increase your testosterone to the level that is just right for you. Treatment is covered by most major insurance with affordable self-pay options available. The best you is waiting. Book your free T-test at trtmvp.com. When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with a text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
What's up, Swain Event crew? Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. Fall sports can be a roller coaster ride for us fans. The excitement, drama, and passion will make us crazy sometimes. I can't manage the games, but I can help you manage your real estate needs while you're cheering on the Vols. Reach out at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Let's go to the Garza Law Hotline, 865-255-03. Good morning.
I'm giving a little space, let the music play out. Swain, it's good to hear somebody on the radio in our Knoxville, Tennessee volunteer landscape say what you just said, because you're the first person I've heard say it.
Ooh, what was that?
It was about
Collective bargaining.
I didn't say that, even though I agree with it. But
No, everybody says Basilio beats collective bargaining in the ground worse than I do. It's about the judge's interpretation and why you kept asking about what Joey's value is. And I reached out to a couple of people who understand the law way better than I ever will. And they all said the same thing on that, which you just said a minute ago, is the reason the judge wants to know is because if he denies Joey the injunction, then when this actually goes to a courtroom in 12 months and really goes to a trial, what can Joey sue for damages? What can he sue the NCAA for that he lost out on by not being allowed to play in 2026? And because there's no finite, definite number, then Joey can't even really sue in court. Even if he wins, he can't be awarded a certain number because we don't know what he would have made. We don't know if Rolex is going to call him in November when we're 11-0 and says, "Hey, we want to put you in a commercial like all those Arch Manning glasses commercial and pay you $1.2 million." We don't know if that's going to be available for him if he's not playing. So there's no way to quantify what his value is. Therefore, the only way to know is to grant him the injunction.
yeah, let him play. Let him find out.
Yeah, or he's never going to be able to recoup the money he would have made because who knows what the money is he would have been awarded. So most people initially I were listening to in the moment were like, "Oh my gosh, the judge isn't going to grant him because he says we don't know what Joey's value is, so there's no reason to play him." But actually, it was explained to me that, like you said, it's the other way around. It's the NCAA that's in trouble in their argument because we don't know what Joey's number is.
Yeah, I hope that plays out. I hope it plays out that way. I do.
Yeah, well, I don't think everybody out there hopes that. I think there are still some that think it's time to play the kids. That we might not even be better with Joey than one of the kids. So
yeah, well,
I guess that's an art. There, believe me, there are people that believe that. Let's just say that.
Yeah, well, they have that right, my man. Rusty, thank
you.
Yeah,
hey, Nate. I mean, is he was 7th on the latest ESPN draft board? Is that his ceiling where he can go in this coming draft, or is it just me, or he might be right there with the other two guys
he can go top
out
5.
of BYU and Kansas?
He can go top 5.
Should.
You think he can go top 3, Ben?
I think he can go top 3. Would I bet on that happening? No, but I think that would be his ceiling. Would be like 3, probably behind Darren Peterson and Boozer. If I had.
Who about DeBonza? DeBonza.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, I got my freshman mixed up.
Do we think Boozer's going to be a high level NBA player, like an elite NBA player?
No, I don't. I think he's going to be good, not elite, because I think he has the highest floor of anybody. But
and the lowest ceiling.
Yeah. I think he's going to be good. I don't think he's going to be elite.
So, will Peterson average over 24 minutes in the NBA?
I mean,
man,
I'm sure you will because he'll want to play then. Because don't seem like
How nervous are you? I guess that we'll have the draft lottery, but if it were the Wizards or whoever gets the number 1 pick, I mean, you love the talent, but boy, wouldn't you be nervous drafting that one?
I mean, yeah, he's clearly taking himself out of ball games in second half saying he has cramps. I mean, I don't believe Bill Self believes it. But hey, anyway, I'll let you guys go. I rambled.
See you. Thank you.
I had a question. I forgot what it was going to be. Oh, I know what it was. It's not a question. It's a statement. We mentioned Darius Acuff Jr. earlier in the show, the Arkansas point guard who finished with 49 in double overtime in Turd Town last night. Let's also give flowers to Josh Hubbard. Josh Hubbard, also a bad man.
Very bad.
And Mississippi State does not deserve Josh Hubbard.
He's not transferring, Ben.
I know he's not.
He should.
That doesn't change the fact that Mississippi State does not deserve him.
He should transfer.
He should. Does Mississippi State deserve him? Yes or no?
No.
All right. That's my only point. He should transfer, though. He won't, but he should.
If he wants to win, he should. But, hey, if he wants to have that legacy, then he should stay. He'll be able to do everything that he wants to do in that state.
I bet they'll give him their entire NIL budget over the off season.
Hey, man, he's earned it.
Here's a check. What do you want?
Always Vol says, I like G-Mac, but really do feel Faison will pass him by. Yeah, at some point. I mean, I think it's fair to say that it's a strong possibility that can happen. But G-Mac controls that with how he works and how he performs. So quarterback rooms are supposed to be talented. Only one guy plays. So G-Mac should feel like, hey, I've learned a lot my first year. I'm learning a lot now. And if I don't win the job, I can go somewhere else and play and get paid. I would prefer for him to do it here. But it's impossible for G-Mac and Faison to play in 2027. One of them gotta lose the job. One of them has to win it. So it's part of it, man. It's part of it. Over under 2.5 home runs for Brown this weekend. What you got, Ben?
Under. I'll say he hits 2. Kent State should be more of a formidable opponent. 3 is a lot in a weekend, but he is I think I have decided on Blaine Ohtani instead of Shohei Brown. I like Blaine Ohtani better. So he is certainly capable of it. Man, he's so much fun to watch. I can't wait to watch him again this weekend. I'll say he hits 2, though. 3's a lot, even for him, in one weekend.
I'm going to read this text box message, not because I want to have a discussion about the Lady Vols. It's because we love Brian Hunsucker, and he always makes great points. Here's the comment. What's crazy about the Lady Vols and Kim Caldwell is that if they win tonight versus Texas A&M, which they should, they'll have more SEC wins than they had last year, despite all the criticism. But that's what happens with expectations. Yeah, but then, Hunsucker, I think you forgot to point out that no one's going to expect the Lady Vols to win the rest of their games in the regular season after the Texas A&M, because you play at Oklahoma, which is a top 15 team. You play at LSU, which is a top 10 team, and then you host Vanderbilt, which is a top 5 team. And so it could happen, but no one's going to pick Tennessee to beat those 3 teams. So you better beat Texas A&M. The problem is with Kim Caldwell in year 1, she did what she did, and she went out and handpicked this roster, which is what you can do as a coach in the transfer portal, and which is easier to do in basketball than in football, because you can essentially change the whole roster over easy in basketball. So you went out, you got Barker from UCLA, you got big girl from LSU who hasn't played much. You got Talasia Cooper back, and you've been on Talasia Cooper for the second year in a row about her leadership and about her effort when it comes to getting back on defense. and it's rubbed off on the other team, the rest of the team at times. Offensively, you don't have an identity. The execution versus Texas was not great. Didn't even get a shot off. So it's either the play design was not right or the players didn't do what they were told to do, but the spacing was all jacked up. Talasia Cooper didn't have any room to operate and work and didn't even get a shot off. Even though you played tough, played hard, and had a chance to win that game, you still lost it. Ole Miss, he lost by 20 points. And the handshake, which I don't go overboard about, but it's still a bad look. You shouldn't be coaching effort. You shouldn't be talking about leadership in year 2. That's the issue. And I'll leave it at that. You shouldn't be coaching effort. You shouldn't be coaching effort.
It's how they've lost a couple of these games, and I'm sure Hunsucker agrees. I think he was more pointing out just how ugly some of the losses have been.
Yeah,
that
sure.
Even despite some of them, like their SEC record doesn't look bad, but it's just with how some of these losses have gone down, and the lack of leadership and the troubles on and off the floor, and players showing up late to warm-ups before you get blown out by Mississippi State at home on We Back Pat night, wearing the Summit blue jerseys to honor Pat, and then some of the excuses and comments post-game. It's just all the extracurriculars that have really damaged the damaged her this year, I think.
Well, I mean, SEC schedule this year is bottom heavy. I mean, to start the SEC play, we played Florida, unranked. Auburn, unranked. Mississippi State, beat them the first time, unranked. Arkansas, unranked. Alabama, beat them on the road. That was a good win. They were ranked at the time. Kentucky beat them, ranked at the time at home. But the tough SEC games are now. You're playing South Carolina. You're playing Ole Miss. You're playing Oklahoma, LSU, Vanderbilt in the back half of the SEC schedule. So we don't need analytics to watch Lady Vols and go, yo, this ain't right. This ain't right. It is what it is. Tennessee, Vanderbilt this weekend. Lady Vols tonight versus Texas A&M. They will play Oklahoma at Oklahoma on Sunday. That's a 11th rated team there with Chavez, who was the number 1 player in the country last year, who can go get 20 at any moment. So that'll be a great matchup between her and our guards. But they got excellent post play. And I remember when Oklahoma played us here, they were ready for the press. They carved up our press and was getting layups all day long. So hopefully that doesn't happen this Sunday at Oklahoma. But the men's team play against Vanderbilt. Jalen Carey returning back to Memorial Stadium or Arena, Coliseum. Gymnasium. Hopefully he can have the performance that he wants to have, and it can help Tennessee win this weekend. Maybe we'll get a Joey Aguilar ruling that we can talk about next week as well. But big thanks to you, Ben McKee. Thank you for our callers. Folks on the text box, we really appreciate you. We'll do it again on Tuesday here on the show. Jason Swain here from the Low T Center studio. Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. Appreciate you. Peace. Much love. We are out. Have a great weekend.